Hey guys, this is Bane and welcome back to So You Want to Main Science. Today we're going to take a look at some of the gear I have fitted on the USS Roseville, which is my temporal multi-mission science vessel at tier 6. And we're going to talk about why this gear is good. As I said before, if you remember, most of our damage is coming from EPG or exotic particle generators. Some of our bonuses are either category 1 or category 2 damage. Category 2 damage is bonus damage that applies on top of our category 1 damage, our standard damage. We'll explain more about those damages. There's a Reddit article I will link you so you can understand between category 1 and category 2 damages and bonuses. Now, the great thing about this build is it is not reliant on keeping weapon power running, and because it's not reliant on keeping weapon power running, that means one thing, and that thing is we are primarily using torpedoes for our actual weapons. And in fact, we're running 3 torpedoes at the very, very front. 3 very specific and wonderful torpedoes at this point in time are some of the best torpedoes you can get for this build. Note that I don't have all epic. I'm not a big show-off. I do have some items that are epic. I'm going to try to get everything epic eventually, but things do change in Stowe quite regularly. So if you're watching this now, this is the best I can do. It works for me. If you don't agree with my build, say it in the comments. Maybe we can come to an agreement on which torpedo may be better at the time that you watch this. But for me, I like the 3 torpedoes I've got, and this is my build, and a lot of people have asked me about it. So what do I have at the front? Well, I've got a gravimetric photon torpedo launcher. Gravimetric photon torpedo launcher is currently doing 7,427.3 kinetic damage, or 928.4 damage per second. It's good at destroying Voth drones, but that's not really why we're taking it. It has a 33% chance upon detonation, and it creates a 1 kilometer radius gravimetric rift for 7.1 seconds, which does, guess what? Kinetic damage that ignores shields. Okay, it also reveals cloaked ships. So, negative repel values, you can see there it has a minus 0.36, pulls targets closer, it sucks fins in, and damage increases as targets get closer to the centre. Funnily enough, firing these torpedoes off when you've got a gravity well means that the ships are basically being ripped apart. Imagine if you had multiple gravimetric sources pulling at your ship in Star Trek, your ship's structural integrity would not hold out, and that's what's doing all our damage. So it has 8% critical chance. It improves the recharge time with 20% chance by 5 seconds. And there is a little bit of a drop in terms of what we want to do with our weapons and firing weapons. So it does give some boost to weapon damage, energy weapon damage. We're not really worried about that. So that is the first torpedo. A lot of damage from the front. Main thing we're taking it for, the gravimetric rift. Particle emission plasma torpedo. This is a bit of a fan favourite. You can speak to Omega or Dragon. They'll tell you about this torpedo. Really, really good torpedo. 6,002.4 kinetic damage, 750.3 damage per second. And it does 1,676 plasma damage over 10 seconds. So, upon detonation, it creates a plasma particle emission cloud at target location for 6 seconds to foes within 0.5 kilometers, which does a further 2,318.7 plasma damage, ignoring shields every second for 6 seconds, which affects their turn rate and their impulse speed. Why is that good, you may ask? Well, again, imagine they're in a gravity well, they're getting hit by this torpedo, everything in 0.5 kilometers of this target is getting hit. If you've got torpedo spread, everyone's getting hit one of these torpedoes. If this was the one that goes off, or even if this one's the one that's going off, it's doing some kind of effect. So, again, very fast firing torpedoes, lots of lovely things, crit serve, crit chance. It's a very good torpedo. Again, you kind of want to get this where you can. Because it's a very good torpedo. You can buy these on the exchange, in fact. This one, I think, from memory, is Delta Alliance, I think, the gravimetric. And then we've got the neutronic torpedo launcher. Again, needs no introduction. You've probably already heard of it. 10,146.5 kinetic damage, and then the 2 foes within 3 kilometers. That magic 3 kilometers. It seems that the Stowe devs just love the 3 kilometer rule of thumb. It does 1,421.8 radiation damage, takes away some of the subsystem power, takes away their power transfer rate, has 20% critical severity as well. So again, another good torpedo that is going to apply damage, and again it's about stacking that damage. So you're firing torpedoes that are working with your science abilities. 3 good torpedoes at the front. Hope that makes sense, John, so far. If you disagree with those torpedo choices, tell me in the comments. Tell me what you think. So it also looks very pretty when you're firing so many different coloured torpedoes, I will add. Deflector, probably one of the best deflectors still that you can get. Again, you can get the competitive secondary deflectors, the competitive deflectors and secondary deflectors should you wish, but the solenoid deflector array, very, very good. Notice that it boosts in brackets, and you'll see this quite a lot, which what we're looking for when buying gear, EPG, exotic particle generators are boosted on this deflector. Hull capacity goes up, starship plus 50 EPG. That's going to improve your exotic damage. Your exotic damage is all those abilities we covered in our previous episodes, and it also gives you drain expertise as well. So if you are running a drain build on a ship, this is also a good deflector for that. It forms part of the Solony hybrid technology set, of which I have every piece. So where are we going to? We are going to the next one, which is our secondary deflector. This is an epic item that I upgraded. This is a deteriorating secondary deflector. You can see that it's obviously the highest mark. It has Control X, Drain X, EPG, Shield Hill, APG, and SA plus damage. So there's a lot of names there. Let's just go over them. Control X means control abilities and control expertise. Drain X means drain expertise. EPG, Shield Hill, I've kind of already explained this, but basically that's EPG is an exotic particle generator, Shield Hill is shield restoration, and EPG in brackets alone is just more exotic particle generator, and then the SA plus damage. Okay, so you can see basically if we cut that down, all those little names and tags there, that gives us plus 15 to our EPG, which increases our exotic damage. Again, looking for that exotic damage boost. It gives us plus 15 to our control expertise. That's going to affect your gravity well and your subspace vortex, anything that controls and repels, gravimetric torpedoes, etc. That's in there as well. Drain, if we were using drain, it helps. Yeah, okay. Starship shield restoration improves our shield healing. We're going to try and use our shield healing. We have shield mastery on purpose for our science build. This is helping that. And then we've got, yes, you guessed it, even more EPG. Improves our exotic damage. It has some sub abilities. Radiation dot to target of science buff debuff ability. So any debuff we do, it will do radiation dots to which deal 7,719.6 radiation damage, 50% shield protection every second for 10 seconds. So this deflector, every time we use a science buff debuff ability, so any debuffs we throw out, well, if you think about it, we're throwing out quite a few science-based debuffs, will cause more damage. We also have sensor analysis, and that also improves the sensor analysis damage buff by 20%. So that's that SA plus damage. Yeah, the SA plus damage in sensor analysis. Remember what we said, sensor analysis is already increasing damage. This increases it further, the SA damage stack, by 20%. Very good deflector. Do buy one. It will be featuring in another episode called the top 10 consoles you didn't know you needed. Very good. You should get one. As I said, I'm using the Solenoid set just because I like PvE. I like the set itself. This one needs no explaining. If you're hit by direct energy attacks, you have a 20% chance to gain plus 4% turn rate, so it's going to increase your turn rate flight speed, lets you get out there, stacks up to 5 times. 25% speed when your engines are disabled because it's got thrusters. Gives you impulse speed. You've got all power to engines. It's just a very good. There's nothing really to say. Impulse engine, it's a generally good impulse engine. Gives you some auxiliary power as well. Warp core is the overcharged warp core, again Solenoid set. This one needs no more introduction. Gives you the battery capacitor. That's that auxiliary power buff where you restore. Good set to have again. Auxiliary power. Good warp speed. Hull regeneration. Add 7.5% if your weapon power to your auxiliary power is bonus power. That's where we're getting some of our bonus power from. 3.3% all damage per subsystem with 75 or more power. Well, 3.3% all damage to subsystems with 75 or more power. Which ones did we have at 75 or more power? I think that was our auxiliary, and our auxiliary buffs damage 2 out. Wait a second. Science abilities. So it's all working pretty well in tangent together. We have the Solene Resilient Shield Ray, good shield ray, 10,000 maximum shield capacity, 5% absorption, 5% bleed through. So it's a generally good. It's not the highest capacity, but it's a generally good capacity. It's over 10k. 1,408 shield regeneration every 6 seconds. That's a good shield regen rate. Reduces all energy damage to shields by 10% when hit by directed energy checks. And you also have a 1% chance to reflect 30% of damage back at the attacker. So you're getting shot at, you're reflecting some of that damage. It's a good shield. Can't be triggered more than once every 2 seconds. Reduces anti-proton damage to shields. That's just something extra part of the set, because you remember you were fighting the VOF when you were using the VOF use anti-protons. So generally good settings. What does the overall, if we go to the more details, buffs do? Well, we can see that the 2 set bonus gives us shield power. It gives us in fact 3.6, and then shield power set for 5.56. Bonus increases at low power. We have the structural integrity elite. All your energy weapon attacks, you have a 2.5% chance to repair your hull for 100% of the damage they deal. Only trigger once per second. There you go, that's the hull you can restore. So it's going to heal you just from firing your energy weapons. You're going to say, Bane, you don't have many energy weapons, but I do. I'll talk to you about those in a little while. We have the advanced metaphasic shields, and this is the one you can activate, which basically all outgoing damage is reduced by 20%, so yeah, not good. Flight speed to rate reduced to 50% of current, but you have plus 600 bonus all damage resistance. Basically, you're just gaining a bunch of damage resistance. So it's kind of like that, oh shit, I'm going to die, I need to get out of here. Plus 50 shield power setting converts 50% of incoming energy damage into shield restoration, so it heals your shield. And you have this control approach. To targets hit, they get minus 25 exotic damage resistance 10 seconds. So not bad. Not a bad shield. Going to help you pump out your damage abilities even further when activated, that ability. We have our kinetic cutting beam. This is something you got from the, if you remember all the way back to the Borg rep. Damage times 4. It does reasonable damage. 1262.6 kinetic damage. Again, just use it because it's a nice thing to have. It's obviously 360 degree firing beam, so again, doesn't matter which way you're facing. We also have the omnidirectional chronometric polaron beam array. Okay, and this again, another 360 degree beam, generally good. Why do we take it? If we go to more details, you can see that we have the 2 set gives us extra auxiliary power. It's again another 360 beam that's pretty good. We have our advanced foreign infused polaron beam array, so we have 2 the same. These aren't then taking power of each other too much, which is quite nice, because they're the same weapon type. We talked about that before, I'm sure, on one of our streams. What does this do? This is part of the isokinetic cannon set. This is why I have this on the rear. You're going to say Bane, but that means you're not firing that much. I'm not really using it to cause damage as much. If I get a proc off, it's nice. It can apply this 4 on radiation, doing more radiation damage, but it's not there for that reason. It's situational. It's more for giving me the ability to have the isokinetic cannon, which we talked about previously. Just to show you the set bonus, if I go to more details, you can get 14.2% radiation damage from having efficient biocircuitry and 20% cool reduction to your neutronic torpedo. Neutronic torpedo, there you go, there's the link. We have isokinetic cannon. The isokinetic cannon is very powerful, 18,513 point damage. This is all pre-boosts, obviously, because you get a build boost when you're in combat as well. Activating an exotic damage ability grants 4% firing cell case for energy weapons for 10 seconds. So again, helps our exotic damage abilities. 25% plus 40 auxiliary power for 10 seconds after activating exotic damage abilities. So if you use a hull or shield here, you get 10%. Look, it's all the same, getting you extra exotic damage. Skills that affect this ability: Starship Exotic Particle Generator. The higher our EPG rating, the more damage isokinetic cannon does. 18,000 is pretty respectable damage wise every time we fire it off. So something to think about. Isokinetic cannon is used in a lot of builds at the moment. Very, very popular setup if you can get it. Do try to go for the isokinetic cannon. Red matter needs no introduction. We've already talked about this. 25 all power levels. We have the exotic particle flood, 20% damage, banish damage, all damage for 20 seconds, only affects exotic damage abilities. Really good for actually boosting your exotic damage. Again, optional when you want to use them. And I have some accurate, I don't know why that's in there, because that shouldn't even be in there. That should actually be, oh, he says, this one, the whole patch, which is my heal. 6,000 hit points, 20% maximum hit points for 20 seconds. 25% chance of bonus exotic damage. So there you go. All these kind of cool bits that will affect exotic damage. Onto our actual engineering consoles. Well, we have the causal anchor. We already explained this. This is a temporal anomaly. Again, look at what the console does. It just statically gives you 15% exotic damage and 2% exotic damage critical chance. So again, more boost into the exotical damage. We have the Bionero Gel Pack. 2.5 power tool subsystems, not bad overall power buff. 23.5 starship shield capacity, we like shields. 7% cooldown reduction on bridge officer abilities, that's major. Obviously you're talking about the cooldown on our bridge officers, so that's how quickly we can then use those abilities. Again, Binary Gel Pack, obviously very, very good console, do highly recommend it. Gives us access to ISO kinetic cannon, very, very good console to have. This again is one of the consoles that will be featuring in our top 10 consoles you didn't know you needed. The conductive RCS accelerator, everyone has one, but this one in particular has, you guessed it, EPG on it. You can see that it gives us a flat 35.6 Starship Exotic Particle Generator bonus. 47.5% flight turn rate. When healed, applies conductive accelerator for 15 seconds. So you can read there what the stats does, but again, boosting that exotic particle generator, that EPG up. These are available from your Fleet Research Lab. These are the restorative particle focusers that are Control X EPG based. What do they give? Each one of them gives 35.6 EPG, improving that exotic damage, and 23.8 control expertise, improving your gravimetric pulls that you're piling off. You have a 25% chance to get 6% bonus exotic damage for it, and stacks up to 5 times when using any hull heal or shield heal. Oh look, remember what we're doing, we're cycling that shield, that hull healing, and then we're cycling our exotic damage. That's cycling, all these abilities that are proccing off each other, giving us, you guessed it, more damage, more EPG, more healing, more EPG. You've got it. It's all coming through this. So we actually have these filled. There is something else here you can get, which I haven't got the money for at the moment, so even I am not fully spec'd, which is the another science console. I forget the name of it off the top of my head, but it gives you something ridiculous like plus 60 EPG, but they're about 150 million EC when I last checked. It's very rare to find one. It's the field, I think it's the field enhancer, I can't remember. I will show you it in the top 10 consoles you didn't know you needed. We have our tactical consoles, so this is the chronometric capacitor. This is part of that auxiliary circuits. It gives me 23.8% polaron damage. I have 2 polaron weapons, as we said, weapon power, but look what else it gives me. It gives me 35.6 Starship Exotic Particle Generator, improves my exotic damage. 23.8% torpedo weapon damage. Well, what are we firing at the front? We are firing torpedoes. So very, very good. Now you might understand a little bit more why I have that set bonus coming in and why I've got the Polaron 360 degree energy weapon. It all works together pretty well. Deflector generator, this one needs no introduction. A lot of you have this. 20% flat bonus to exotic damage, 5% critical severity. Channel radiation cone attack, does a lot of damage. Very, very good. Takes the resistances down. Gives you, if you activate exotic damage ability, grants 4% fire cycle case for energy weapons. It all works together. If you use exotic damage, 10% increase hull and shield healing while activated. So, you know, it's all designed to all I can say, guys, is you need to read the what these consoles do both passively and actively, and they're all designed to boost to each other. Hopefully you're seeing the theme forming here, and this all just takes a little bit of reading. You guys can come up with these builds for yourselves as well, but if you want to use this build you can. Then I've got the constriction anchor. Yes, it does affect the fire and stops them from working. That's not just the only reason I take it. Why do I take it? The very top line, look at that, 23.7% bonus exotic damage. That is why I take it. So things get pulled toward the anchor because I've got control expertise. That's being boosted as well. Very, very good. Yellowstone runabouts. Why do I take Yellowstones? They're my favourite runabouts. This is down to you, really, what you prefer. But the reason I take Yellowstones, probably known as one of the best ones, Chronoton torpedoes, phasor race, tractor beam free. Very annoying for disrupting people. And they inject Tetrium warp plasma, which can knock things offline, such as engines. So again, taking these as my Hannah pet. Up to you what you want to take. I like the Yellowstone runabouts. Let me know in the comments if you have a different bet or a different idea to take and fill that slot. That, believe it or not, was our overall gear review at this time. If you have any questions about this gear, where you can obtain it, etc., do check out StowWiki. I'd like to thank Draken and Omega as always for helping me with my builds. They're brilliant guys from the Breakfast Club and the Breakfast Club fleet for having yours truly in it, and SOB or Sob, who runs his own YouTube channel and also gives us a lot of help with our builds. He's a great guy. Do check out his channel, guys. But this has been How to Main Science. This has been Gear on My Ship. I will see you guys in the next episode. This is Bane as always, signing out.